Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So today's is going to be something that I am really excited about, and it's also very different. And I know that I say both of those things kind of a lot, that I'm going to do something a little different or that I'm really excited, but this one is absolutely true in both counts. But the reason that I'm so excited about this piece is because I have mentioned in a lot of my videos that I have been feeling very unsatisfied with my work over the past couple of years. I remember a time, mostly in high school and in middle school, where I felt so passionate and inspired with the pieces that I was doing. I mean, not every piece. Most of the pieces were really not good. There were ones that I didn't want to continue and they weren't working for me at the time. But when I did have something that I felt was working and it looked good, I felt so creatively on fire. I was in love with it and I couldn't keep my hands off of it. And it was just, when I was away from the piece and I couldn't work on it, I wanted so badly to get back to it and to work on it. And I haven't really felt that fire, that need to create something that I love. And I haven't felt that attachment to a piece in kind of a long time. And I really miss that, because I know that I can find a way to get back to that point, to get that passion back for the art that I'm creating. But I haven't felt that way for a while, and this piece I feel really good about. And I think that the reason why is, well, obviously, is that it's the subject matter, it's the kind of look that I am really excited about. A lot of the pieces that I do, I don't really give it as much thought as far as what the subject matter is going to be, what I'm going to draw, what's the story behind it, as I would like. I know I talk about it a lot in videos, and I'm trying, but I don't think I've reached that point where it's automatic yet. I think my default is still to just mindlessly draw. So this piece is something that's definitely taking me on the path that I want to go. It's visually the look that I want. I like this really dark look to it, and I like the mood that I've been able to create with it, and it's something that really made me passionate and excited about this piece, rather than something that felt kind of mediocre about, and it didn't really matter, but I still wanted to finish it. So that's the biggest reason why I feel super excited about this. But I also feel really excited because it is a totally different creation process for this. Normally I do line work and then cell shaded and colored in, and I'm not saying that I'm done with that. I absolutely love that look. I love doing line work. I love images that are done with really gorgeous line work. So by no means do I feel like that chapter of my life is over. But I think that moving in a direction so that I can do more painterly pieces like this will really help freshen up when I do go back and do my line work. It won't feel as stale anymore. It won't feel like the only option. I have other options that I could use, and instead of that being my default, it is a tool that I can use to portray a certain type of image. So yeah, I think that just having a different process, something else to learn, something that I don't know exactly how I'm going to produce it like I do with my line work. Because with my line work, I feel really comfortable with the style that it's in, with the process that I create it with. So ultimately, I'm creating new images, but the process itself still seems, or it still feels extremely familiar and like muscle memory, which I like. But I think that I've been needing that uncertainty, that's something that I can build up on and find ways to make it my own. So I'm really excited about working on more painterly pieces like this and finding ways that I can reflect my style in a painterly look, which is something that I haven't done ever. I've never experimented with that kind of a look. So I think that's just what I needed. I needed something that can be exciting and new and fresh. But some of the specific things that I really loved working on for this piece, and kind of the techniques that I enjoyed for this one that I'd like to try out in future ones, is I liked working more in a building up process, and that kind of just comes naturally with it being more painterly, but it felt like there was no part of the piece that I didn't feel like I could easily change at any time, or that I could build up, or I could tweak the shape of it. And when I do my line work, I can definitely change the line work after I've started, but it tends to be the pretty strict guidelines for the rest of the image. I follow the line work from that point on. But for this piece, it felt like I could still add things, I could still manipulate what was going on, I could really have a lot more play with the overall look with it than I do when I have a very static line work. So I really liked that aspect of it, where it felt a lot more engaging throughout the entire creation process rather than only for parts of it. I also really liked playing with the soft blended and also with the harder, sharper aspects of this. So as far as painted pieces, as far as other artists' painted pieces, I really don't care for the look of overly polished, really finely blended stuff. I like it when it looks like you can see the hand of the artist in it and there's still texture to it. And so that's kind of like the duality of where I want to find where my style comes in, is how blended and how textured do I want. But one thing that I really loved that I did in this piece was going in with a much sharper brush and then adding this like hatching where there was highlights and then adding hatching for low lights. And I liked being able to go in there and do that. It felt more reminiscent of my line work style, where I felt really comfortable with it, but it also gave it a little bit more of a sharpness to the piece. It emphasized the planes of the shape that I was showing, and it also gave it a lot more texture to the piece overall. And I really loved that texture. I'm excited about that kind of, where it's not line work, but it kind of has that line work quality to it overall through the whole piece. So it gives it that texture that's something that I'm already really happy with. And I also really loved working in black and white first and then adding color second. Like I mentioned, value is the first read. So when you look at an image, your eyes and your brain, it analyzes the value first. So that's what it reads and that's what it sees. And if you have weak values, the color is not going to pull it out. So being able to work just in value first and getting that the way I wanted it to really helped me to get much better values for the piece. And it also was a lot more of an enjoyable process where I could just sit down and render it the way I wanted it to and not worry about, okay, what exact color do I want to pick for this area that I need to blend it in it, because I knew that I could address that later. And at that point it was just about getting the textures and the shapes and the values that I wanted. So it was a lot more of a streamlined process for me to be able to just paint it and then worry about the colors secondary. And I think that I'd really like to try that in my line worked cell shaded style, where I think that I'd be able to get stronger values and have maybe a more enjoyable time working on it. I've tried it before, so we'll see. I'll give it another go. But yeah, I feel really happy with that method of working. But that is pretty much it for this piece. Like I said, I feel really positive about how this one turned out and also about where it's going to lead me in the future. So there's definitely going to be more painterly pieces like this, where I'm going to definitely enjoy figuring out my style as far as more of a painted look. I will have them up on my shop, and here's a couple printouts. I'm really excited about how he turned out. I'm definitely going to put them on my wall, but I will have them available in the smaller size, which is a 5x7, and also the full size, which is a 10x14. And I'll have the link to this specific listing for him in the description box. And right below me, I'll have a link to my full shop where you can check out everything else that I have up for sale. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll catch you at my next one. Bye.